sometimes it's a bit of a bummer when I take a day off from a live stream, even if it is to go fishing, which I did yesterday. You guys know that. So apologies again for not being here yesterday, but you guys did get a video as promised. So go check out that Cunha video if you haven't yet. Did a little deep dive. I might do one for Liam Delap as well. You guys let me know if that's something you'd want to look at. Liam Delap video. The rumors, the links aren't as strong in recent weeks as they were a couple weeks ago, but we'll see. But today we are here to preview our Europa League semifinal against Athletic Bilbao. It is now the next most important match of potentially three most important matches of our season, because math, that's how math works. But it is a big ask to go away to Bilbao and get a result. But we have no choice. We literally have no choice. A lot of these players have no choice. In many ways, for a lot of fans, Ruben Amorim has no choice. Ineos don't have. We have to go and get a result. We have to avoid a loss on the road, I think, in this first leg. Um, we have to bring that same fight at home in the second leg, the same as we did against Lyon. We just have to. There's no choice. It would be cool to see an all-English final. Spurs are a little worried. I do trust us more against Bodo Glimt than Spurs, but it is what it is. But today we're looking at how we can do that. How can we put ourselves in the best position in this first leg on the road against a tough Athletic Bilbao side? We're going to do that. So it starts on Thursday. Big fight ahead of us. We're here to look at that. Like the video. Subscribe if you are new. Check out the merch. Tons of new designs in the UVE store. I put the link pinned to the chat if you guys want to go check that out. Yesterday was the last day for that 20% off. So I tried to hook you guys up. I tried to remind you guys in case anybody was on the fence. Sometimes 20% off can push you over the edge, but check it out. There are tons and tons of new designs. I got a little bored on the weekend and just started designing t-shirts. So go check that out if you want. Let me see who's in the chat before we jump into the stories. Box, big up, Box. Good to see you this morning. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Hope your day is going well. It's Tuesday, isn't it? Oh, man. I thought it was Monday. Gosh, too much sun yesterday, let me tell you. Box says, sign Jokeres and bring in Chirke and forget Cunha, in my opinion. Big call from Box. You guys agree? Let him know. I did put a poll out there regarding Victor Jokeres. Would you prioritize him in the summer if it meant maybe less money for another position? It's always a tough one, right? You know what you're getting with Jokeres. You're going to get goals. You're going to get goals. It's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But probably would be a little more expensive. Now his wages aren't bad. He's gonna obviously we're gonna have to at least double his wages. But would you want guaranteed goals, and then you just figure out the rest of it later? Because goals have been probably our biggest stumbling point this year. So it's hard. But that's why I put it in a poll. I want to know what you guys think. Big up, Danny. Good to see you again, man. I hope you're having a good day. Hope everybody's doing well. Let me see who else is there. Usman, big up, Usman. Good to see you again, man. It's been a minute. Hope the family is doing well, man. Hope you're just living the dream, my guy. Box says, so Bindier, Ahmad, Dallo, Delit, Martinez, Heaven, Collier, Xerxes, Obi are unavailable. We're going to talk a little bit about team news because I don't know what's going on with Bindier yet. Bindier was ruled out according to the United website. Dallo and Delit, Delit and Ahmad obviously close according to Amorim. Not quite there yet. We could see them on the bench this weekend, though. Obviously, Ahmad, we'll see what happens there. Dallo, probably out for the season. Xerxes for the season. Martinez, Heaven. Collier, no idea what's going on with Collier. And then, Obi, not part of the Europa League squad. So I'd start Obi on the weekend, though, but we'll get that. We'll get to that when we do that preview later on this week. Box says, I'd want to sign Cunha too, but it was a choice, Jokeres or Cunha. It's Jokeres. Yeah, it's always Jokeres. I mean, in my opinion, Jokeres +1 is always going to be the majority in your side because the dude is just an absolute monster. Danny says, yes, Jokeres, Franco, Chirky, and Nippon, I would prefer. Yeah. No, I'm agreeing with a lot of you guys. On Cunha, though, because Box did mention Cunha, so we'll start with the news here. So don't forget, hit that like button for me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check memberships, please. If you want to get $5 off a jersey, go to GoGoalShop. Use my code in the video description to get $5 off when you register. And then, like I said, go check out the merch. I'm not wearing merch today. I'm wearing just a regular jersey, but I got another one coming. I got a sample for myself. It should be here sometime today. So maybe in the next video, you guys will see me wearing that one. But so we got an update here from Fabrizio Romano regarding an interest in Matheus Cunha. So according to him, negotiations for Cunha, they are in the final details. The deal will be done and sealed very soon. And now I dropped that video yesterday, like I said, on Cunha, taking a look at a deep dive, how or even if he fits in at United. So go check that out if you haven't yet. Pretty cool little video. But like I said, you guys got that video. I wasn't here on the live stream yesterday, but you guys know that whether I'm on camera, whether I'm on the pitch, or whether I'm on the water, you know I represent United. You know I got to represent the club. This was me yesterday, probably about 2:33 in the afternoon. Got to represent, as always, just making sure everyone knows who the biggest club is in the world. So I thought I'd throw that in there for you guys from my trip yesterday. But big up to my boy Rob for taking that one for me. As we were talking about Gyökeres, by the way, we've got some randos. Saw a lot of randos claiming that a move to United is a done deal and whatnot in terms of Gyökeres. I don't see how it's a done deal personally. I'm not seeing anything from anybody reputable, any credible sources. Nothing being said is anything more than according to sources, basically. And you guys know how I feel about the infamous according to sources. So generally now I'm starting to learn which outlets I just don't really pay attention to. Stuff like Furkaya, stuff like even Caught Offside, Team Talk. There's never a credible source for some of these outlets. So that is what I do. But we did get a little bit from Florian Plettenberg, and he had some things to say about Gyökeres. So let me put this guy on the screen for you guys. So this is coming from Florian Plettenberg, or Plettigol on Twitter. He says, there is still no agreement between Manchester United and Victor Gyökeres. He has not given United the green light yet. Ruben Amorim is very keen on him, and concrete talks have taken place. So Florian Plettenberg, big in German sources and whatnot, but did have a bit to say about Gyökeres. Obviously not saying anything that we already haven't kind of said. Nothing really concrete, nothing really coming from anything reliable, but just obviously we know Amorim likes Gyökeres. He brought him to Sporting. Obviously he's a huge part of his successful system at Sporting as well. And so I think that, some people are putting 2 to 2 together and getting 5, kind of like what we spoke about the other day with some reports. So he would be the dream, Victor Gyökeres. I really have a hard time thinking that it's ever going to happen, though, because I don't know if we have the money. But that's also why I don't think we're going for Victor Osimhen. But I've been wrong in the past. I'm happy to be proven wrong in Gyökeres' case. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Box says, who would be your starting 10 alongside Cunha, new striker in a front 3, providing we don't make any more additions? Well, you guys know some of the players that I'd like to bring to this club. I did them in that summer rebuild video, and I still hold strong. The big hinge on that video is number 10 or right wing back spot, because it just depends on where Amorim sees Amad Diallo, because Amorim has played him before he got injured. Amorim played him as a 10 a lot, but he also was playing as a right wing back, so it's hard to tell. I wouldn't mind, like in that video I chose Frimpong, but I also could put Amad as the starting wing back and play Cherki. So you could go either way, really. Lionhearts, big up Lionhearts. Hopefully you're doing well. Good to see you. But yeah, Box, you let me know who you would like to put in a starting and what your starting 10 would look like. Box says Metro newspaper, reliable source. Ricardo, big up, man. Good to see you again. Portugal, there is already light. The planes are already flying. Gyökeres has 17 goals in the last 10 games. Man, Gyökeres, all this talk about Gyökeres too has made me want to go and look up my my old website. So a long time ago, before the channel, way before Stretty News, all this stuff, I was just doing random, like, casual scouting reports. You guys know I've got level 1 and 2 talent identification certificates with the PFA. The PFSA. And with the FA as well, I've got level 1. So I used to just do a lot of random. I used to have webs. I don't really have it anymore. You can still find it, but it made me want to go look up my old scouting report. So this was the old the old website from years and years and years ago. So obviously it was basically just scouting reports, right? As you can see, a closer look at rising stars and hidden gems in the beautiful game. It was called Scoutish because I was like a scout-ish, not really quite there, but you guys have heard me mention Gyökeres many, many times, and I mentioned him because it made me want to go look up my old articles. This is the old scouting report that I did on Gyökeres. As you can see, back in 2023 is when I did this. So over 2 years ago, I was already watching this guy. And this scouting report is from when he was at Coventry City. So big old scouting report. It's basically the things that I say out loud in the channel, but just in written form. So statistics, history, how he's deployed, his profile and everything. So if you go search around on the internet, you will find you'll find that at some point. You could probably find that website somewhere. It took me a minute to find it, but because like I said, I don't really have it anymore, so it just is what it is. But yes, so when I tell you that I've been scouting some of these players that are now big stars, some of these players that we're linked with, some of these players that we mentioned and we're looking at, when I tell you that I've been watching them for a couple of years, I'm not lying. I have been watching a lot of these players for several years. I just don't do the scouting report website anymore, so it is what it is. But Lionheart gets all his news from the Metro. Big up. It took me a while to learn like what UK papers, what outlets, what are reliable and what aren't. Like that took me a couple years, and that really I only learned from talking and interacting with other people on like forums and stuff. Just what the reliable sources were. So it took me a while to learn, even like the Sun and stuff. Not even MEN, not reliable. So now that I know, I'm fine tuning my reliability and tier sources and things. Box says we need two Ahmads, one for right wing back, one for left wing back. You're not wrong there, man. Box says I wonder what new 9 Sporting are looking at to buy and replace. I mean, I think they could be looking at. If I were Sporting, I'd be looking at someone like Mohamed Amara, who's on loan right now at Wolfsburg from Union St. Gilloise. He's a very good attacker, very versatile, very mobile, very quick. I think he would be an excellent addition. He's exactly that kind of attacker, that kind of striker that I do see them kind of going for. He can play multiple positions. He can play in a front two. He can play on the left-hand side or the right-hand side as well. Danny says, yeah, I've been talking about Franco near 18 months. Yeah, he's looking better and better and better. Rob says, hello, all you United fans. Big up, Rod. Praying for rain. That's like, I'm glad if it rains, I'm glad it didn't rain yesterday because that would have been a bummer. Ricardo says, if Gyökeres leaves, he will leave. The man deserves another league. We should try again for Ioannidis from Panathinaikos. Yeah. It's not a name I'm familiar with. I don't obviously watch a ton of the Greek league. But we've been linked to a couple players from the Greek league in the last 6-7 months or so. There was that young Charlampos Kyriakos, is that what his name is? I think he's at Olympiakos and then didn't Martial go to a Greek club as well? Someone let me know if I'm just making that up or not. And then, yeah, like Danny says, they've got Harder coming through. So making it easier, promoting Harder, right? So, hey, badunch. Anyway, sticking with attackers for a second. I thought this was interesting. You guys let me know your thoughts. Ben Jacobs reports that Liam Delap wants European football next season, which means that a move to Manchester United could be dependent on whether or not we win the Europa League. I don't know what you guys' thoughts are on that report. If true, I always think it's interesting. It makes me laugh a little bit. It makes me chuckle for sure when players from like relegation sides or players who are from clubs who are constantly like in the bottom half of the table, right? It makes me laugh when those players demand European football, like they've earned it, like where do they get off demanding European football to make a move? You're relegated. You've spent one season in the Premier League. I don't understand. So if true, again, you guys know I always throw that caveat on there. If true, then Delap needs to realize that he's got a little bit of main character syndrome going on right now. He ain't that guy. He's a 21, 22-year-old with one season in the Premier League, and he immediately got relegated again. He's having a decent season, but even then, it's like his decent season is still not as good as like Højlund's season was his first season at the same age. So it's just, I don't know. Hopefully it's not true. I hope he's not one of these players who thinks he's bigger than he really is just because he's young, he's English, he's a striker, which, the English media and the pundits love young English strikers. He's probably got people in his ear who I'm not saying he's getting high on his own reputation, but I'm sure he's got people in his ear who are basically whispering like, "You're the next Harry Kane, you're the next Harry Kane," kind of stuff. So I hope he's not thinking that. I hope he's not doing that. But that is what Ben Jacobs reporting. Rob says, please don't sign Vardy on a free. Yeah, if it wasn't Ineos, if it was still just the Glazers and Ed Woodward, I would not be surprised. I would almost expect us to bring in Vardy on a free in the summer. Bach says, Di Maria didn't mind not having European football when he signed. Yeah, Di Maria didn't want to be here, though. It was pretty evident from day one. He just never wanted to be here. We paid a lot of money for him. I love Di Maria. He was one of my favorite players at that time. He was one of the best players in Europe at that time, honestly. He didn't want to be here, so it is what it is, unfortunately. Danny says, I honestly don't want Delap. I wouldn't mind Delap, but he can't be our only like striker. Like he's still young, and he doesn't give me the goals that I need. People are out here saying like, oh, he's got this many goals in an Ipswich side. Cool. That means there's no pressure because he's at Ipswich. Like he's nothing about coming to United and being able to handle that. Ipswich is not United. No offense, but it's not. It's just the way it is. The pressure here. I mean, you look at what everyone did to Højlund this year. If Delap struggles, if he doesn't get double-digit goals in the league, he's going to get hounded out after literally half a season. Box says, Lukaku and McTominay joined 10th place Napoli with no European competitions. Yeah, it's true. Lukaku's kind of bounced around a little bit in these last couple of seasons, though. He's kind of getting at that age now where I think Saudi's probably his next move. McTominay, Justin, Justin has been on the channel. Justin loves McTominay. He sent me a text the other day about some of his numbers, and McTominay is doing well. This is why people need to stop looking at the club and they need to start looking at the coach and the system. McTominay in an Antonio Conte system in Serie A is probably great, right? He's doing very, very well. They look like they could win Serie A. But again, that's like saying Ashley Young is better than Ahmad at like the right wing back spot or something because he won Serie A or something like with Inter. There's levels. Like I'm not saying Serie A is crap, not saying anything like that. But again, it's more about system, more about the manager. Antonio Conte, Scott McTominay, that is like a match made in hell. That's basically like Mourinho and McTominay. Like it's the quintessential old school defensive player for a Conte, for a Mourinho. That's just the way it is. So McTominay's doing just fine. I'm not begrudging him that. I don't want him to do poorly, right? But I think the revisionism with a lot of this is astounding to me. I'm not saying McTominay's a bad player. I never said he was bad. He's just doesn't suit what we do, and he offers very little in terms of what we were doing at the time in that system. But yeah, Danny prefers Jonathan David. Yeah, I'd take Jonathan David in a heartbeat. The guy is absolute beast mode. Rob says, Delap looks like he could flourish in a better side. Just hope he gets the service if he comes to us. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't. So we don't really do that here at United, do we? And I mean, it's for lack of service. Højlund against Bournemouth, 1 shot, 1 goal. You do the math. So Bach says McTominay's top pro. Yeah, McTominay's always, he's always worked hard. I've said it before. Any manager in football would probably give their left arm for 11 McTominays on that pitch with how much he fights and how much he works and how much he plays for the badge. It's just he just didn't offer enough in the role that he was really playing in for us. He's very good at making these late runs in the box. He's very good at causing problems in the opposition area. He's got a really good strike on him, but in terms of his reading of the game, his skill, his passing range, his just positional awareness, it just wasn't quite there. And so if you play him in that role where he's able to kind of box to box, make these runs, kind of like what Xerxes is doing now, ironically, it could work. It just didn't work in that pivot in Ten Hag's side. Bach says, I'd hope we started to share the goals around if we signed Cunha, Cherke chipping in with goals, etc. The wingbacks need to step up. Yeah, well, fortunately, we're asking a lot from the wingbacks. Dalo's final ball has never been great, right? It's just never is. Dorgu's, I give Dorgu a little leeway because he just joined in January. He's 20 years old. I like what I see so far. We're going to talk about him a little bit because he does have some things he's got to work on, obviously, like his crossing and like his holding onto the ball, because I think he got bullied a little bit too much at Bournemouth. But honestly, Bournemouth bullied everybody. So Box says, I want to see Højlund getting them ugly 6-yard goals more. Yeah, I mean, he's trying to do it. It's just, it's not quite, you need so many things to kind of line up and sync up. Ryan Giggs said it really, really well when he sat down with Rio last week. Like, you got to develop relationships and familiarity with your teammates in that area because nobody's on the same page. Højlund will make a run and the ball won't come, and then the next play he'll make a different run and that ball will come to where he was the play prior to that. And it's that kind of thing. Like, he's overthinking it a little bit. He's trying to do a little too much. He needs to be a little bit more patient when he's in the box, Højlund. Obviously, you want to get involved when you're deeper, but in the box, he's got to be a little bit more patient. He doesn't always have to go running and cover every blade of grass in the box to try to get on. Just be patient. The ball will find you. It's fine. If it doesn't find you, it's not your fault. Like, that's your teammate's job. That's why I keep telling, like, Dallo and stuff, just put the ball into space. Or like Højlund against Wolves when he had that breakaway that he created. Like, put the ball into space. If you put it into space, your job is to put the ball in the space. It's your teammate's job to be in that space to get to it. If Højlund's moving all over the place, there's nobody in that space to get on the end of something. Benny says, we all forget how lazy he was tracking back. His lack of concentration, his horrible technical ability on the ball. That McTominay, yeah. McTominay, to me, and one of the big criticisms, that he hid from the ball a lot when we were trying to build up. It always seemed like he had an opponent between him and the ball when we were trying to build out from the back. And I can't have that from a midfielder playing in the pivot, because that just completely like negates our ability to play out from the back when you're hiding from the ball like that. Danny says that high work rate was 1 every 4 games for us, though. Rob says, didn't realize Spinazzola is at Napoli. He's one of the fastest players I've seen a few years back. Wasn't he at was he at Roma or Inter? Who am I thinking of? Somebody remind me of. Box says, Spinazzola and Shaw look like Roberto Carlos at Euro 2020. Yeah, Shaw had the 22-23 Shaw was different. But yeah, I don't remember 2020. I mean, of course, Shaw at the Euros, right? That's about all he's fit for these days. But what are you going to do? Rob says, constant injuries changing the lineups haven't helped building playing relationships. Also, Amorim's early rotation system would have had a negative impact. Yeah, I was very critical of Amorim early on, those first few months, with how much he was changing things. I didn't think it was the right time to do a lot of that, especially when there were some systems that were working. So, but now it's like, it's never worked out. Early on, he didn't have any time to train. He didn't have preseason. So I can understand it, but I didn't like it. I didn't think it should take that long to figure out who your best 11 was and kind of rotate a little bit. But we've kind of at this point now where he has to do it now because we're managing minutes and we're picking up more injuries. So it's like we're effed either way, but it's freaking annoying. But moving on. Sorry, we're going into some transfer news here still. Ben Jacobs reports that Liam Delap wants European football next season. Sorry, I already talked about that one. My bad, guys. Sorry. The BBC is talking about Wilfred Ndidi. I saw a little bit of a blurb on Wilfred Ndidi. Apparently, Ndidi's got a 9 million relegation clause. If you remember, I did that video a few months ago about taking a couple players, which players from the relegation side, the Southamptons, the Ipswich, the Leicesters, which players would I take at United? And he was one of my targets, Wilfred Ndidi. I've liked Ndidi since Leicester first got him, when he was just a beast. His interceptions, his tackle numbers were excellent. And then they got relegated, and he added a different layer to his game. He started getting more box to box. He started getting more involved in the goals. But I maintain that a 28-year-old Wilfred Ndidi in this United side right now, especially when you, like, 4 years ago, I might have not have been so prone because he was very defensive-minded. But since he's become a little bit more well-rounded as a midfielder, I think a 28-year-old Wilfred Ndidi for $9 million is worth every penny, from the experience that he gets, from the quality that he brings to the side, the leadership that he can bring on and off the pitch, physical. I think that it's just, I don't know, hear me out. I'm just saying $9 million for Wilfred Ndidi is a snip. I think it's an improvement on Casemiro in many, many ways, but it is what it is. Danny says, no thanks. Legs are gone. Cass is way better at the moment. I think Cass is better in a certain system. I think Cass's passing range is better, but I think for 9 million, I mean, that's half of what Casemiro's making per year in wages. But again, everybody's got different opinion on that. I just think for me, it's definitely well worth it. So, um, one rumored target though, Danny, mute the computer for a second. One rumored target that might not be going anywhere anytime soon is Franco Mastantuono, unfortunately. So for anybody who is a fan like me, like Danny, like a lot of people, he's been linked to United, obviously. He's been linked to a lot of big clubs, Real Madrid, PSG. His release clause, allegedly, I don't even know how much it is these days because every time I read about it, it's higher than it was before. But had an excellent free kick goal against Boca the other day. Just beautiful. It looked like Messi, really, the way he put that in. But River Plate manager Gallardo, he spoke to TN after the game. He claims that Mastantuono move will not be happening anytime soon. He says, we have to support him. He's taking his first steps. The markets are dynamic and the financial power is strong. He's a player who inspires enormous enthusiasm for his age. Gallardo said, he's a kid who has his feet firmly on the ground, but it's not a bad idea to feel he needs to keep growing. We want him to continue developing and growing as a footballer and as a person. That, in parentheses, his departure from the club isn't going to happen anytime soon. Yeah, it's a bit of a bummer. But I do think Franco, he's having an excellent season already. He's already doing much better than he did last season in total. But again, he's still very young. I wouldn't mind him. He's just also very expensive, and you can get Cherki for less than that. You can get Cherki and Nippon for probably the same price as you're going to get Mastantuono for. So I like Mastantuono a lot. I just don't know if it's worth the price personally, but it's not my money. So it's you guys let me know what you would do if you had the money. Again, that's why I put those polls up. I want to know what you guys think. Danny does not think we're going to be getting him at all. I doubt we're going to get Mastantuono. I really like him. He's having an excellent season, but I think he would suit the system perfectly. It's just a lot of money, and really, you know how I feel about release clauses. Danny says on Indeed, another 6-7 mil, you get Hackney. You're probably going to have to double that because Hackney is probably going to cost you between 20-25 million. Middlesbrough aren't having a great season. They've been struggling, but Hackney still has good numbers every time he plays. I'd still take Yashari over Hackney personally, but I like Hackney still. You guys know I like Hackney a lot. When I did that summer rebuild, I told you I went back and forth so many times between Hackney and Yashari. I literally changed that pick probably 5, 6, 7 times. Then he says, unless we buy loan Mastantuono back for a year, they want maximum price tag. That means, that wouldn't be the worst thing. I still think, Cherki, Nippon for the same price. So yeah, Box agrees, buy now, loan him back. And then, Danny says they're going to get 45 to 50. Yeah, the price keeps going up. The more he plays, the better he does. He's developing very rapidly. He's looking better and better every time he plays. So Box says he looks like a PSG signing. PSG got a ton of these they just got Doué, Kanjin Lee, Barcola, Dembele. They've got a lot of these very similar profile type players. So maybe if Dembele leaves or if somebody comes in for like a Barcola, or I read last month that Kanjin Lee might be on his way out, so we'll see. But it'd be a bummer if he went to PSG. Rob says, if we did sign him, would he be able to join us or wait till he's 18 like Leon? I think he will be 18 in the summer. I want to think August, I want to say. I don't remember off the top of my head. Danny says both Yashari Hackney for 50-55 is better than Ederson. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I would definitely take Yashari. I watched Club Brugge play Union the other day. I watched the replay of that match. It was 0-0, but he just looks so good, man. Like, I don't know if you guys have ESPN Plus. If you get it, watch him a little bit. Box says PSG recruiting well. They are recruiting well. PSG have done really well in this last. Remember when they were just literally buying nobody but midfielders for the long. That's why Thomas Tuchel. That's a big part of why Thomas Tuchel got sacked, because he wanted defenders. They only bought midfielders, so he was playing Danilo Pereira in defense because he was throwing a little fit about it. There was that whole while where they were just buying every midfielder they could find, man. Like the Herreras, the Idrissa Gana guy. the Fabian Ruiz's, everybody. If you were a midfielder, you were going to PSG. It was pretty funny. So let's move on to this match here for a second. As we do this preview, please hit that like button for me too. If you haven't yet done so, please subscribe to the channel if you are having a good time. If you're enjoying this, you guys see I do like to get everybody involved. Please check out the store too. I know I keep plugging it. I'll show you here. Let me show you what's. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but got a ton of new designs in the store. As you can see, got this fun shirt design. I got a green and gold of this tail. I've got kind of a minimalist look. My favorite show is MASH, so I did a little mock-up of that. I actually made this thing too in an AI. I wanted like a shirt that looked like an old like 60s or 70s, like a high school shirt. So I got that one in there. We've got the Ahmad one as well. And you guys, they come in women's sizes too. So had that up. I thought I would let you guys see that while we had it up. But go check that out if you haven't yet done so. Box says Tuchel probably wanted Rashford, Walker, Henderson. Was it Tuchel? Wasn't it? Was Tuchel at Bayern when they got Eric Dyer? And I can't remember now off the top of my head. Someone remind me because I'm having trouble remembering. Then he says, yeah, Box, Due, Neves, huge loss. Due was very, very good. His rise was very, very quick. I think he was at Salzburg, right? And then he went to Leipzig. Very, very good young player. And we were linked with him for a minute. And then it kind of went quiet. And then PSG kind of swooped. Canton Lee, remember we were linked with him when he was still at Mallorca. Then he went to PSG as well. It is frustrating. Again, we can get frustrated about some of these players, and it's always a bummer when there's a player you like that we don't end up buying and go someplace else, like a João Neves. But again, we hope that there's a better alternative that the club are looking at. It is what it is. But let's talk about this match here a little bit, guys. So, Athletic Club Bilbao. Not only are they bloodying noses on Thursday nights right now, but they are also in fourth in La Liga right now, just 6 points off Atletico Madrid, who are in third. Like us and Spurs, all Bilbao's eggs are kind of in the Europa League basket right now. Bilbao are no slouches either. They are very good. 3 wins, a loss, and 1 draw in their last 5 in all comps. And that loss was against Real Madrid. And it was still just a 1-0 loss. So big up them. They've also only conceded 2 goals in their last 5, which, again, we're going to talk about in a little while here. But us, on the other hand, United, we don't need to talk about. We're shit right now, right? 1 win, 2 losses, 2 draws in our last 5. And that win was against Lyon at home in the second leg. And we made it hard on ourselves. I mean, I guess it's not 100% fair to say we're entirely shit. I mean, the thing we're shit at right now is just finding the back of the net. We're creating tons and tons of chances. I know I didn't do a Bournemouth reaction, but like, again, we weren't awful against Bournemouth. It's just poor finishing. Again, we had 61% possession. We created 2 big chances. They literally didn't have a single big chance on the night. Our XG was over 2.5. Theirs was literally 0.6 something. We had 25 shots and they had 8. Like, it's just crap finishing. Like, we can't have that much possession, that many chances created, and that many shots, and still have 1 goal to show for it. That's just not acceptable. Oh, Rob says, when did Rashford get injured? He was at the boxing on Saturday night, sat with Declan Rice. Yeah, I mean, I guess he picked up an injury. I don't know. I mean, he's not here anymore. So my interest in him extended only as far as Villa's run in the Champions League, and then now I'm over it now. So, but I saw some people getting upset about it, but it is. Honestly, I don't have. I mean, it never looks good, right? Like the optics. But again, it's like I really don't. As long as it doesn't impact your game, I really couldn't care less what people do. They're allowed to have lives. It never looks good, right? And it's Marcus Rashford. He's gonna get seen. But like you're saying, Declan Rice was there too. So, I mean, he's got a big game coming up. So, what are you going to do? Asif, how are you, man? Am I the only one? I am the only one who thinks other positions are more important than just Victor Gyökeres. I mean, there might be, but that's why I put the poll out there, man. I want to see what people think. Gyökeres is pretty much guaranteed goals. He's been doing it since his last season at Coventry, which was almost 3 years ago now. And like goals are the thing, as I just laid out, our goals are probably the thing we're struggling with right now the most. And so it's just, Gyökeres is one of those rare strikers too who can create for himself, and that's probably something that Højlund will hopefully develop as he gets a little older. But you got to be able to do that. Remember, Gyökeres really wasn't doing much until he was about 25, 26, and that was at Coventry. So not every striker is an Erling Haaland or an Mbappe who's doing it when they're teenagers. Some people do take a little bit, and sometimes it is about right club, right time, right manager. So, but I don't think you're the only one, but that's why we put the poll out to see. Fox says Bilbao are conceding fewer and scoring fewer recently. Expected 0-0. Yeah, they're not scoring a ton. And like you're saying, and going on to my next point, they are a bunch of stingy bitches on the pitch. They just are. They've conceded the fewest goals in La Liga this season. I think Atletico Madrid are just one behind them. So I think they've conceded like 56 goals, and Atletico have conceded like 57. We'll have to keep an eye on a lot of their attackers. There's a lot of movement. They're kind of like Lyon. They have a lot of movement, a lot of inverted runs. They have a lot of overlapping fullbacks, kind of like what Bournemouth were doing as well. Watch out for Oyan Sanse. I've been watching that guy for a little more than almost 2 years now. He's very, very good, number 10. Nico Williams was a little injured. He's recently been playing, so he'll be back. I don't know if he's 100%, but he will be back, and his pace can cause us loads of problems. So whoever plays on our right side or left, whoever, really the wingbacks need to be on point again. They have a lot of players who can hurt us. Look for their wingers to cut in, allowing those fullbacks, like I said, to kind of get forward and overload in those wide areas. They're going to play a lot of crosses. They're going to play a lot of cutbacks to the edge of the box. These are things that cause us problems. We struggle against some of these balls. Bournemouth and like Newcastle, if you remember that Newcastle match, it was cross after cross, back post. Nobody was marking anybody. Cutback goals. I mean, that was our Achilles heel last season with these cutback goals. It's just defending 101. We have to look out for that kind of stuff. They also employ a high press, which a lot of teams do. If at this point in time, if you're not training to beat a high pressing opposition, you're not doing your job. Everybody's doing a high press now. You have to be able to play your way through that. You have to move the ball quickly. You have to have players who are good in the ball, and that's how you have to do it. Our tempo is just too slow when we're building out from the back. A lot of that is down to Onana. Some of that is down to tactics. We do like to play the ball to the wing backs to invite the press. The problem is we have so many players who they shit themselves, or they're just not good enough on the ball. Basically, Bilbao are going to do all the things that we struggle against. So Rob says Rashford being sent back. I did see something about maybe he'll be sent back. I don't know. Like I said, if he's injured, he's injured. He's not our player. He wants to leave. Do I need to list any more reasons for why I don't really... I'm not mad at Rashford. I'm not like trying to insult him. When you say you want to leave, you're like, I stop caring anymore. Still a little dehydrated from yesterday. My nose pink. Yeah, I got sun yesterday. Look at you can see my hands got pink all over it from sunburn. My hand is the only part of me that wasn't covered. It's pink. As he says, Sociedad are also scoring fewer, but they got goals against us. Well, who the blue hell doesn't get goals against us? Everybody can score against us right now. We're shit. But we did put him to the sword in that second leg, though, so I will take that. But getting goals against us is one thing. Scoring loads of goals against us is another. Like Newcastle put 4 past us easily, and they didn't even look like they were trying that hard. Box says we'll have to be on point. 100%. Yeah, we need to do better. We need to look out for if you're not playing against the high press, if you're not training against that, if you're not training to kind of beat that, like you're just not doing your job. We need our attackers to step up, though. That's been the biggest issue right now. I'm happy Højlund scored to salvage that point against Bournemouth, and again, that was his only shot, but I almost feel like, again, he's trying to do too much. He needs to keep it simple. He needs to trust people, and if the ball doesn't come to him, that's on his teammates. It's not on him if he's doing his job. I want him to be able to start to do better with linking up in deeper positions, and he is doing a much better job at that. It's not great, but it's better than it was. So we have to take the positives and we find them, right? But it's his movement in the final phase of attack that needs to chill out. Garnacho's got to fix up. He's a little too selfish. And then when he isn't selfish, his ball is just not good enough. And this is what happens when you don't put a whole lot of time and thought into finding a teammate. Your passing in that area is not great because you haven't worked on it. Dorgu, again, needs to bulk up in terms of just mentality and physicality. He got bullied a little too easily off Bournemouth. Obviously, it cost us. I think when it comes to what we do against Bilbao, we need to take a page out of Ollie's book. He took over at Besiktas, and his Besiktas side beat Bilbao in the Europa League 4-1 in January. Ollie destroyed them. He employed high pressing. He made quick transitions when he win the ball, and he exploited the space behind Bilbao's attacking fullbacks. Basically, what we were doing in the derby, and like what I said we needed to do against, like what we did against Newcastle, that created like 2 or 3 chances, and Garnacho's goal is what we need to do against Bilbao. Move the ball quick, move it wide, exploit that space, because that's what they're going to do. Their fullbacks are going to leave a lot of space in behind. And look at what Ollie did with the Besiktas side to get 4-1. It's exactly what you have to do. It sounds so easy when I put it like that, right? But it doesn't seem like it's very easy for us. But we've shown that we can do it. It's just, I think Amorim is struggling because it's not the way necessarily he wants to play. And I think he knows that against English sides, it is probably the better way to do it. And I think, again, he's struggling. And I put this out on Twitter the other day, like, where's the line between sticking to your principles and not learning from your mistakes as a manager? Like, where is that line? And I followed it up with the question, like, is Amorim like walking that line right now for you guys? Again, it's the age-old question that we've been asking all season. The pundits put it out there and media puts it out there. Should he play a back four? Should he do this? Should he play counterattack because of the players he has? Amorim, I don't have a problem with him sticking with it. And like I said in my New Year's resolutions video, I just want to see a couple little tweaks, play a little faster, and when the opportunity is there to exploit the space, to find your quick attackers, take it. There's no reason not to take that opportunity. Rob says Sensei is injured. Is he injured? I didn't see. I was looking at team news. I didn't see anybody was injured quite yet. Bach says, it's the game where we need 0 individual defensive mistakes. We need the center midfielders to be relentless. Whole team putting a shift in full 90. Honestly, I'd just let Bruno play in one of those 10s, put Ugarte, Casemiro in midfield, and let Bruno just kind of run around and do what he needs to do. But Bach says, any chances we get, we have to be clinical, which is unlikely. Yeah, that's asking a lot. Danny says, if De Ligt's not playing, Euro needs to be center back. We're probably going to see Euro, Maguire, Lindelof, perhaps. Evans was in the squad last week, so maybe there's a chance Evans could line up in center, but we'll see. Rob says, worried if Shaw starts. Does Lindelof get a start? Shaw played a full 90 the other day. I don't know if he'll start this one, but we'll see. Jay, welcome back. My problem is how much time and space we give opposition players when they're on the ball. It's annoying to watch. Yeah, especially in those wide areas. Too often, Dallo in particular will stand off, and he doesn't put any pressure on the ball. And too often we've been done because opposition players have all the time in the world to pick that ball perfectly and deliver it into the box. And we saw it last season from Dallo. He's not very good in those 1v1s, Dallo, and that's a mentality thing. Lionheart says, will Ahmad travel with the squad? Well, we're going to have to wait and see because I don't think Amorim has done his presser yet. That will be probably tomorrow, or maybe later on this afternoon. I haven't seen any updates yet, but we will see. He did say after the Bournemouth match that De Ligt and Ahmad were close. Heaven's not quite there yet, so we will see what happens. Asif says, Victor is a cherry on the cake, but we need more cake. I'm always up with more cake. You guys know I love me some cake. But no, I hear what you're saying. Again, everybody's got their own opinion, but it sounds like you're changing some opinions because I see the poll going down a little bit. Robert Reed, what's up, man? What up? How are you doing, Robert? Good to see you again. Says cake. So much more the better. I've never been like a candy person or like a pop or a soda or whatever you guys call it. In Michigan, we call it pop. It's like a Michigan thing. But I got time for baked goods. I don't like frosting, though. I'm not a big frosting person. So that's probably the reason like my favorite cake is German chocolate cake, because the frosting is not really like frosting, if that makes sense. But yeah, I do got time for baked goods. Brownies, cookies, cakes, cheesecakes. I love just plain cheesecake. So good. Box. Hopefully Evans gets a few farewell appearances. West Ham, Villa. I mean, just play the kids in the league at this point. Who cares? Start Cheeto on Sunday against Brentford at this point. Robert says we need to win the first leg. Yeah, I do agree. That's why we're saying we need, if we can avoid a loss, I'll be happy. Obviously, I'd love to win. A win would be massive for us. We could have got one in that first leg against Lyon. Onana pretty much ruined that for us. But ice cream and cake, yeah, I can't have ice cream. I can't do stuff with heavy cream, like ranch dressing, cream cheese, ice cream. I can't do that, but I do I do I do just risk it for some ice cream, but if I do, it's got to be just really good ice cream. I can't just get like soft serve from some crappy place. Like if I'm gonna deal with an upset stomach, it's gonna be worth it. So, and I'm a big believer in if you're gonna do something wrong, do it right. So I go to like there's this place downtown a little ways from me where it costs a little bit more, but it's the best ice cream I've ever had. So Lionhearts loves him a ice cream float. Big, but yeah, I do. We used to do root beer floats when I was younger. Um, Danny says lactose can't take it. It's funny. I can do cheese. Like I can eat like pizza and like cheese and stuff. It's just stuff with like heavy cream in it. Just bugs my stomach for some reason. So regular cheese and stuff don't have a problem with it. Like macaroni and cheese, unless I put heavy cream in the macaroni and cheese, which you have to because that's just the way you do it. But so again, where are we at here? Need our attackers to score these goals. As I showed you those Bournemouth numbers, we were creating chances, 25 shots to their 8, 61% possession, XG at 2.5 to their 0.6, and we had one late goal to show for it. Højlund scores with his one shot. So we have to do better. And I keep hoping that it's a slump right now, and maybe the fact that so many of these players are in a slump that maybe they'll get on the ascendancy and they'll all get back into form at the same time. It's just I'm waiting for it. You were waiting for it, and we're watching like somebody score a fucking goal. Like what is happening? And it doesn't seem to be happening. I don't know if it's too late. If some of the like against Bournemouth, the players did, and I said it in one of those shorts, they did look like they've kind of given up on the season a little bit. They look like they've been told maybe to only focus on Europa League, not get hurt, not go too hard or whatever. I don't know what it was, but I did not see something from these players against Bournemouth. So let's see here. As far as team news is concerned, I mean, we're dropping like flies right now. The players who are fit look like they're running on fumes too. Again, Dorgu's finding his feet. He's still 20. It does make sense. The attackers need to step up. Bruno is being asked to do is too much. He's got to drop deep. He's got to find the runners. He's got to create the chances. He's got to score the goals, et cetera, et cetera. Like it's the Bruno show right now. Amorim has rested a couple players recently, probably to prioritize fitness for this Europa League, try to get them back into match fitness, like in the case of Shaw, for instance. And he said as much. He's managing minutes right now. I think the difference maker for us on this week and the rest of the season really is going to be who's fit and managing those minutes and prioritizing that. Like I said, Ahmad and De Ligt are close. Heaven's probably not going to feature. Bayindir is out again for some reason. I think Bayindir is probably gone in the summer anyway, so it is what it is. I saw reports yesterday that Ahmad and De Ligt could be on the bench this weekend, so maybe they're getting back to fitness. I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing like Fredrickson get another shot here. Amos probably going to get another start. Maybe obviously he didn't start recently, but I'd like to see Amos get a start. I wish Cheeto could play this week, but obviously he can't. But you guys let me know who your starting 11 would be here. Lionheart says Bruno is basically doing what we expected from Pogba. Yeah, I mean, Bruno is a little bit more mobile than Pogba. Pogba is definitely a counterattack system player. He's so good on the ball. He's got an excellent passing range. You can't deny. He was very, very weak on the ball, especially in his own half. He'd lose the ball over and over again. And he always seemed to do a really good job of popping up in and around the box when we were able to work possession forward up the pitch. But it is what it is with Pogba. He's not here anymore. Does he have a club yet, Pogba? I don't think so. You guys are talking about ice cream. It's making me hungry. But let me know what you guys are thinking for your starting 11. I think, honestly, with fitness and injuries and whatnot, starting 11 pretty much picks itself. So I think you just run Højlund on the ground on Thursdays because he's your only option right now. I'd start Cheeto up top and rotate Højlund in the league for the rest of the season. I think Højlund could do well against a tired defense anyway. But I think this one's going to end 1-1. You guys let me know your score predictions. I think this goes 1-1, and we bring it back to Old Trafford for another exciting second leg. Honestly, though, as thrilling as that 5-4 Lyon match was, I don't think my heart can handle another match like that. I was probably dangerously close to having some sort of myocardial infarction or something. I need to borrow my wife's Fitbit maybe for that second leg against Bilbao, especially if it's another close one, because I'd like, just for research purposes, to see what my heart rate does during that match. Maybe if I can show my doctor what watching United does to my health, I can get my insurance company to pay for my Paramount Plus subscription or my Peacock subscription or something. But we will see. Lionheart says he's playing for DC United. Is he playing or is he just training at DC United? I thought I saw rumors he was going to Miami. I don't know. But you guys let me know your score predictions. I'm going 1-1. I know someone else said 0-0. I do think both teams are struggling to find the back of the net, so we'll see. I think it would be dependent on. I think the squad fitness is going to be the difference maker here for both sides. Again, take advantage of that space in behind, play the ball quicker to avoid that high press. Watch their attacking fullbacks. They do like to get those number forward, and watch the defending in the channels. We have 3 center backs and 2 wing backs. We can drop to a back 5 very easily if we need to. It's just those wing backs, again, are going to have to be able to get up and down the pitch. It's just there's no other way around it. So Mizraoui, maybe he could fill in again. Maybe he could play center back. I'd like to see Amas and Dorgu start. Mizraoui in one of those center back roles if possible, but we'll see what happens. Champions League semifinals this week today as well. Starting today, it's Arsenal PSG. So I'd really like PSG to do something today if possible. I mean, if you can beat Liverpool, you can beat Arsenal, let's be honest. As long as Declan Rice doesn't score a couple more free kicks like he did against Real Madrid, you probably have a good shot. But Rob says, hoping for a PSG win later. Yes, we all are. We are all French today, right? Rob says 1-1 will be nice. And honestly, again, in Europe, if you could not lose on the road and win your home games, you'll have a good shot, honestly. Box says, who replaces Dallo? Yeah, I'd put Dogu on the right. I'd probably start Amas on the left. I'd probably put Mazraoui in the center back role as well. I don't think Shaw can play a full another 90. He was looking much better when he was getting forward, so that's a lot of people are thinking kind of like that box, like maybe put Shaw in left back. I don't think Shaw's got the legs right now to play that wing back spot. Later on in the game, when we're getting the opportunities like we were against Bournemouth, I do think if we would have played another 5 minutes against Bournemouth, I think we would have won that. But we left it too late, unfortunately. But Lionheart says, I'd like to see Shaw at left wing back. In his prime, like 22, 23 Shaw, yeah, he could play left wing back. I just don't think fresh back from a long injury and 29 years old, I don't think he's going to be able to get up and down as much. Buck says, I'd love a goal from Kvara, Doué, Dembele. Just everybody go score a goal. Robert says, yeah, but Arsenal winning helps all Premier teams, improving the coefficient. Yeah, but it doesn't really matter for us, does it? So if it helped us, it would be one thing. But again, I would throw up in my mouth a little bit if I even tried to utter the words like I hope Arsenal win. I don't really care about the coefficient as much as just watching Arsenal fans absolutely collapse. Try to come up with another excuse for Arteta, even though it's going on, 5 seasons now with fuck all to show for it. The guy is an absolute fraud. How he gets away with it is absolutely beyond me, man. Danny says, probably be Maz, Dorgu, wingbacks. That's what I'm thinking it's probably going to be. I'd love to see Amas, but maybe we can just start strong in Europa League and play the kids in the league. I don't have a problem with that either, but it is what it is at this point. But Box says, if they make top 14 qualify for CL, we might have. I doubt it even. It's a long shot for us to get 14th, man. Rob says, Arsenal fans love to moan, so hopefully PSG gives them something to moan about. Part of me wants them to get to the final and then watch them lose, just because I want their build up to be even higher than it is now, so that when the crumble happens, it's such a long way to drop. But at the same time, in a one-off final, anything can happen. So them going out would be great. I love to see a huge loss for them today, but we will see. Again, English sides in Europe this season have shown that they are a little bit more physical than these other sides, so you never know what could happen. Box says, Arsenal open top bus parade for beating Madrid, basically. Trust the process written on the side of the bus, right? The whole side of the bus can be a dry erase board and people can write things on it like Arteta likes to do. But You guys let me know your score predictions. Let me know what you're thinking for starting 11. If you weren't able to catch the live, that is totally fine. I'll check the comments later. Please, please, please like that video. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm going to do a real quick record a video that I'll probably put out tomorrow. It's a whole dedicated scouting report video. I had like 6 targets, and I was like, you know what? Maybe rather than just kind of spread these out over like 6 weeks and put 5 minutes, I'm just going to do a whole video just for scouting. So keep a lookout for that one tomorrow. There's going to be half a dozen players in there. Just basically, I'm taking the little mini scout reports you've seen me do, and I'm just putting 6 of them in one video, and that's all we're doing. So keep a lookout for that one. I'm going to record that real quick when I'm done here, and I'll set that to drop tomorrow. Mondays and Wednesdays are just hard for me to do lives because my wife's schedule is usually pretty busy. So she's in the room next to this one. I can't be getting loud. You guys can't be hearing her client stuff. So Lionheart says, I think United will grab a sneaky 2-1 win. I like your thinking, Lionheart. So I predicted 3-1 against Bournemouth, and that definitely did not happen. So, but yes, like the video, subscribe if you are new. Check out the memberships. Check out the UVE store. I put that little screenshot up earlier. Tons of new designs in there. Like I said, I went a little banana balls on the weekend and created a bunch of new shirts. So go check them out. There is no more sale right now. There probably will be one soon. I'll have to check and see, but you did miss out on the 20% off, but they're not expensive. But if you guys do want to go check those out, please do. They are fun. T-shirts, hoodies, women's clothes, all sorts of stuff in there. So go check it out. I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye.